Hello, it's Deborah from Attic Lane. I want to show you the card kit that I've decided to use as a replacement for the Craftwork card kit that I used to do make cards from, but sadly Craftwork cards went into administration earlier on this year, so I've been looking for a different card kit to use. You gave me some suggestions, I checked them all out, I found some old favourites and some new ones, so thank you for all of your suggestions. I've decided to go with the Tonic craft kit. There are 5 reasons why. The first is that I think their products are very innovative, and the idea of each month finding something new that isn't on the market yet and having the opportunity to play with it first, I think that's a great idea. I'm really into that. The other reason is that this kit has a global reach, so in other words you can buy it not just in the UK but in America and in Australia and Europe as well. The value for money I think is great. I haven't even shown you what's in here, I will do, but you get a whole load of dies, a whole load of stamps. They are unique to the kit, but then you also get papers, you get some new products that haven't even launched yet, and the amount that you get for your subscription price I think is pretty good. I spent £35, I have a monthly subscription now that just automatically renews, so it's £35 each month. That includes the postage of the kit, and I get all of this loveliness. I like the inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration out there with other cards that people are making using this kit from Tonic themselves, and I think they have a very good way of communicating their ideas, so I like that. And the other thing that I like is that it's local to me, so that's my 5th reason. I actually live within an hour of Tonic Studios, and I like the idea of being able to promote and support something that's local to me. I want to show you the packaging that this arrives in. So there are papers here, as you can see. These arrive in a cardboard backed envelope, so there's no risk that they're going to get crushed or squashed. And of course this envelope is then something that you can use for your junk journals if you've been watching my Junk Journaling for Beginners series. And the box that arrives is satisfyingly big. This is what you want the postman to bring to your door. It's a very sturdy box. It's nice and deep. Everything arrived in there nicely packaged up. There was bubble wrap and everything to protect the contents. It's a nice thick chunky box. So the idea of that arriving each month I think is lovely. Let me show you what I got in the kit. I'm going to start with these items here. I believe that these will be available in future, but at the moment these are not on the market yet. There is a sheen glitter. This is a beautiful, beautiful green. I like green as a colour anyway, and this is beautiful. And there are some prickly pear pure sheen sequins. So these are going to be very good for shaker cards, or if you want to add a little bit of shiny green detail to your cards. There is an embellishment mousse. And this is called aloe vera. This colour is aloe vera. As we know from the mousses, they're lovely and smooth and creamy, and I won't open this yet, but these are great to, well, actually I will. That's a generous little pot. You'll get a fair amount of crafting out of that pot. Couldn't resist it, could I? The other thing I like about these items is just how pretty they are. So there's a nice little detail, a little silver detail on there, a little floral branch. And it just all adds to the sense of specialness when you get these sorts of quality items in a kit. This is a Nouveau Glimmer paste. Since we had a look at the other one, let's have a look at this one too. I'm not a big glitter person. I do use it sparingly. I get frustrated at how messy I am with it because it does tend to go all over my desk. But I think that's mostly because I'm messy. And this sort of paste is ideal for me because it means that there's less risk that I'm going to spend the rest of my day covered in glitter. So that is lovely, and this can be used in exactly the same way that the mousses can. So you can use it through stencils. You can water it down and use it as a paint medium if you want. So these are very versatile. There are a couple of these little things. I love these little cute bottles. They're so sweet. This one is Crystal Drops Olive Branch, that's the colour. This one is Glitter Drops, and this is called Holiday Cheer. That's a nice pinky reddy colour. I haven't actually dotted these yet, so let me do that for you now. Then we can both have a look together. Don't they make satisfying little blobs? Lovely colour. This is the Glitter Drops. Nice. Again, I like glitter drops because I can add glitter to my cards without wearing it. See if you can see those. Lovely colours. And a nice complement to the papers that are in the pack as well. Now I've already removed, it usually comes with a yellow plastic roundulation thing. No idea what it's called. This is Matador Red. I've already primed the pen so that I can show you the colour. That's a lovely red colour that I think of. They call it red Matador Red. I think of that as a robin chest colour. I'll pop these to one side, we'll let them dry, maybe we'll have a look at those later on. The papers have, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 papers. There is a green and a red in a plain buff card, but this has got a sort of a waffle texture on it. I don't know if I can angle it in such a way that you'll be able to see that under the lights. But there's a light canvas type of texture to those sheets. This card is the same on both sides. It's a lovely, beautiful rose gold shimmer, and it is on both sides of the card, so you don't need to choose if you want to. You can, if you're doing something that requires you to turn the card over, then you will have the same on that, and it won't be white on that side and spoil it. As this side, this is white, but then I don't think you'd be turning this over, because now we have 3 sheets of very thickly embossed green paper, and this is so tactile. It's, yeah, I could do this a lot. I won't keep doing that because you can't do it and that's not fair. Then there is a red one. This has got colour on both sides, so it's not a white background, but it's not got the shimmery shine on the back as this side has. That may be ideal for your purpose, or you may want to use the shimmery side. I don't believe this is glittered. It is just the way the texture falls under the light. The papers are very interesting, they're very exciting. I'm looking forward to using those very much. I'm going to keep out the red one because I want to use that to show you the dies. Again, you can see the quality of the packaging. Somebody's really thought about this. So this is a really, really sturdy, robust, craft coloured card container with holes in there so you can put it into a lever arch file. It tells you exactly what the kit is on the front, and when you open it up it's just, oh, so much. Let me show you the dies to begin with. So here we go, here are the dies. Now what I've done, because you can't really get a sense of how they look, so what I've done is I've already punched out the dies so you can see what they do. These are cut from these 2 fattish dies, these ones here, and you can see the way that you can use them. You can cut straight into a piece of card and it gives you that lovely motion through the card. This one is holly, this one has got mistletoe and a hint of holly, and this is snowflakes. Very, very pretty. This is this smaller die here, and it cuts out that lovely little shape, and this die is from this shape here. And if you imagine that this was a full card, that would give you a beautiful detail to layer on top of a base card. And these are the bells. They're a bit easier to explain to you, so I'll pop those to one side because I'm sure you understand how bells would cut out, but I wanted to explain how these can work. The other thing that you get are these two dies here. Now these dies are shaped the same as these pieces. One is scalloped, one is a straight edge, so all you would do is line them up on your die cutter, cut them out, and then the effect that you get is this. And you can cut out toppers for cards. This is why I wanted to show you this on a red base card, because it's a much easier way for you to see. And that small little one that we had in the corner, that can also be cut out like that. Of course, then you also have two beautifully shaped dies that you can use in your standard crafting. This is a Christmas themed kit, but these will be applicable to your card making all year round. Finally, I want to show you the stamp set. There's a lot of stamps in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10 stamps in here. 5 of them are snowflakes, and you always need more snowflakes, don't you? But what's lovely is the curve that's on these. So you can use your curved die cut to cut. So you could stamp on the bottom left corner of a card, and then you could cut your swirly shape. You can do the same with this little piece of mistletoe and cut out a swirly shape around that as well. So these all have, and it's the same with the large mistletoe actually. Yeah, so you can do a lovely shape on that too. There's a little sentiment that says Winter Wishes, which would be a really nice focal point for a card as well. So I'm going to make some cards using this kit. I'm going to share the process that I use with you. So let's get started. For card 1, I've got a white side folding card, and I'm using some tape just to hold down the first of my dies while I cut it out. I run it through my die cutter and I'm just releasing the bits that are stuck in. I'm going to put another layer immediately below the first layer, hold it in place again, run it through my die cutter and then release it. I have a piece of tracing paper and I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue to secure this in place on the reverse of my die cuts. This will give it a nice frosty feeling, and it will also make the card feel a little bit more finished. You could leave these open if you like, but I wanted the opportunity just to put something in there to back it, to make it a little bit different. I've got my red archival ink ready and a sentiment because I want to stamp Merry Christmas in the bottom left under the little arch, that swing from the curve of the die. And then I have my little bottle that came as part of the kit, and although this looks purple when you see it in the bottle, it actually dries a sort of a ruby red. So I'm adding little spots of colour throughout the die cut to add a little bit of interest and texture to the card. And once that dries, that will also have a bit of a shimmer to it because there are glittery pieces in those little droplets. It's a very simple but a very elegant card. Now for card 2, I'm using the green heavily embossed paper. If you run this through your die cutter, there's a risk that you will remove that texture. So I'm showing you a way to use the curved die to draw a pencil line around it and then simply cut it out. You don't need to run it through a die cutting machine for this particular card, so why take the risk of squashing your lovely paper? I've got a piece of the green card from the kit, which I've turned into a top folding card base, and I'm going to use the Winter Wishes stamp that came in the kit to add my sentiment to the bottom of this card. And I'm going to be using white because I think white and green is a very lovely wintry combination. Because the green card has got some texture on it, I'm using my stamp platform to help me make sure I get really good coverage on this slightly textured card. I've got white embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle this over and then I'm going to heat set it in place. The powder turns to liquid and then it solidifies on your card and it's still a magical effect. I want to pull the green and the white together, so I've used my curve to cut a piece of plain white card, and this white card is going to be placed immediately under the green. I want the arc, the flow of that die to mirror the cut that I made in the green card as well. I'm going to cut this so that it will fit under the green textured paper, and then I will glue it into position. I want to add a little bit more bling to this card, so I'm going to use the sequins that came as part of the kit. There they all are, sticking to the top of the lid, and I'm going to randomly position a few of these on my pattern paper. Once I'm happy with the position of my little sequins, I'll glue them into place. Once I've glued all my sequins in place, I'm going to take the little bottle of green drops that came as part of the kit and add those in the centre of the sequin. It will look as if there are colourful little berries. For this card, I've prepared a number of strips from both the red and the green textured papers, and I'm gluing them onto a piece of white card, but this is a carrier card. It's only going to help me hold these strips in place because I want to cut through the bottom of these strips with one of the curved dies. This is how it looks when it comes off my die cutting mat. Now I need to move the curve up. I can secure them in place and still keep that lovely arch shape in position. I think it's probably easier to look at and understand than it is to explain it. Although I have a little bit of the paper left on the white card, it doesn't matter because it's in exactly the same place where I'm going to glue the strip anyway. Now that I've got them at a height that I'm happy with on the white card, I can glue them all back down again. There's overhang, but that's fine, I'll strip it away. And I've kept the curve, the die cut curve, at the bottom, or rather on the left hand side of my card, because that helped me just make sure that I had all of the strips of paper lining up correctly on the left hand side of the card, so I maintained the curved shape. I'm using my Versamark ink pad to stamp up the sentiment. I'll stamp that in place on the bottom left of the card just under my curve shape. And even the Winter Wishes sentiment works very well with the curve of the dies. I'm going to sprinkle over Nouveau embossing powder. This one is called Crimson Gloss. I've heat set the sentiment and now my card is almost finished. All I need to do is glue my design onto a green top folding card using one of the textured green sheets of card that came with the kit. Both of my final two cards are going to make the maximum use of the beautiful prickly pear glitter that came as part of the kit. I've got double-sided adhesive which I've cut down and glued onto a piece of white card. I've sprinkled over the glitter and I've rubbed this into place just using my finger, and you can see nothing falls off. I've used one of the die cuts from the kit to cut out the beautiful mistletoe and holly shape into the base of that white card that you can see me about to stamp onto. And I found Archival Ink Fern Green is a perfect match for the glitter. So I'm using my Winter Wishes sentiment stamp to stamp above the curve of the die cut. I only need half of my sheet of glittery card, so I'm going to cut it down before I glue my white top design onto the glitter, and then I'll glue all of that onto a white side folding card. For card 5, I used the mistletoe and holly die to cut from the glittery cardstock. I then glued that down the side of my card and added a sentiment with black ink. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think about the Tonic card kits, and I hope we'll see each other again soon. Take care.